Hi, have you been trying to learn a language, more specifically Spanish, using apps, computer programs, or just sitting in a boring classroom, and it's not really working or not helping, not jump-starting your Spanish as quickly as you'd like? Well, if so, this is the video for you. Hi, my name is Jice, and back in 2012, I did a Spanish immersion program in Panama City, Panama. And I want to talk about the benefits today of doing Spanish immersion abroad. Again, my name is Jice. I'm one half of GenX Quench. And on this channel, we talk about things like pre-retirement, potentially living abroad, and leaving a legacy. So today I want to talk about my Spanish immersion program. And there are four main benefits to doing a Spanish immersion program. One, it works better because it forces you to really learn the language and apply your learnings on a daily basis, being in another country and not in an expat bubble. Two, you get cultural benefits not found in a classroom. Actually being in a particular city, country, you learn the customs, the history, etc. Three, immersion can double as a scouting trip. Who would have known back in 2012, me spending a month and doing a Spanish immersion program in Panama, that one day I'd have residency in the country of Panama. So it did serve as a scouting trip for me. And then lastly, Panama is very welcoming in terms of a place to learn. So I can talk specifically about that city since I spent a month there back in 2012. So stay tuned to hear the specifics. Before I go on, if this is your first time listening to our channel, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. That really helps us. We're trying to grow our subscription base, so thanks in advance. But the first main advantage of doing a Spanish immersion program is it really works to force you to learn the language. It helps you improve your problem solving, critical thinking. Like for instance, I can tell you I went to a changing room one time. I was trying to buy some swim trunks, and I went into the store in Panama, and I didn't know how to say changing room, but I did know how to say, I knew what the room was. I knew how to ask, where is the room? So instead of asking, where's the changing room? I said, where's the room where I change my clothes? So you figure out different combinations and permutations to use with what you know to ask questions and things like that. It also strengthens your memory and your recall because you will literally learn something in classroom either that day or that week. And when you're on your own on the weekend or in the evening, you got to use it. You got to use what you know. So it helps you with your recall. It also enhances your multitasking skills in terms of you're thinking in English, okay, how do I translate this in Spanish, etc. So from that sense, it really helps your cognitive skills, especially as you get more mature. That's really important. And it keeps your brain cells active. And like I said, this middle age, hey, we got to keep them as active as we can. So those are the advantages in terms of why immersion works better than a traditional just sitting in a classroom in the United States or studying apps. The next big advantage I gained was treating that trip like a potential scouting trip. I didn't know it at the time, but living someplace for a month, you get a lot of good intel on a particular country. For example, I got to experience daily life there, not just vacation. And I wasn't on a resort somewhere. I was living in a neighborhood in Panama. And I didn't have a car. So I had to walk everywhere to lunch, to get a cell phone, to get groceries when I needed it for my homestay. So, going to the mall, etc. So you live like a local and you learn different customs. And like I said, you get to experience day to day. You also get to understand cost of living. Now, the advantage of Panama, it takes American dollars. So you don't have to think about exchange rates, but you see how much things cost. I'll give you a good example. Like, shoot, back in 2012, I think my haircuts cost, I'm guessing, but let's say $15 to $20 in the United States. Panama, they cost $4 US dollars. And I was like, oh my gosh, with this kind of price, and the haircut was good. It was fantastic. And what I did was I put a picture on my phone of my last haircut I had in the US and took it with me and showed the barber because I didn't know how to say exactly how I wanted it, but I showed him a picture and he did a very good job. And I would go twice a week back then to get a haircut because it was so inexpensive. So very good job there. But you get to see things like that. What what things cost in the States versus what they cost in the country that you're doing your Spanish immersion on. You also get to see if the country fits your personality as well as your lifestyle. Could you jive with this? Back in 2012, I will say Panama reminded me of the US back in the like 1980s. And being that I'm a native Floridian, I like the weather. I was used to kind of a rainy season. I was used to the heat, although I will say they're much hotter than Florida. The humidity and like I did the program in July or May, June time period. And gosh, it was very hot back then. It was like in the 90s and the humidity was over the top. So you kind of get to see, could you live with something like that? And lastly, you also get to build connections with locals to see, hey, could I make this move and potentially have a network, especially if you do it older, as you're older or later in life. So those are advantages in terms of that. And the last advantage or positive of doing a Spanish immersion program, more specifically in Panama, is the global networking and international friendships you made. I would say for myself, staying with the Lomedicos, that was a wonderful experience, just getting to know them and really learning the culture. And I think if I went to that Spanish school, again, next time I go to Panama, I knocked on their door. Assuming they live there, they probably would welcome me in. It was just a great experience. And then my classmates, as well as my instructors, they were just very welcoming. All of them spoke Spanish better than me. I took French in high school and college, so I'm trying to learn Spanish as an adult back in 2012. So they were very welcoming. I met folks from France, Switzerland, and Japan. And more specifically, Natalie was from Switzerland and Oya was from Tokyo. So I became Facebook friends with both of them. And there was a lady from France that started the last week that I was there, so I didn't get to know her as good. But just making those local contacts and global contacts. If I ever go to Japan, I'm going to look Naoya up on Facebook again to see if I can track him down. And same thing with Natalie, who I see her Facebook posts from time to time. We're still friends there. So I would say that's the advantage, is just getting to know locals as well as global folks that attend the course. So if you've done a Spanish immersion class, let me know where you've done it, or if you're interested, where would you like to go? I'll also try to include links to the ILRE program specifically. Like I said, I know they have a Facebook group. I don't think they have a website, but I will list that in the description so you have that in case you want to access it. And I will end with this. Well, a couple things. As you can see, I'm rocking my Panama Metros baseball jerseys. Panamanians are big fans of baseball. We got several famous Panamanians that plays in the major leagues. You've got Mariano Rivera from the New York Yankees and Rod Carew played for the Angels and the Twins. So those are two that come to mind. Panamanians are big fans of boxing too. Roberto Duran, Hands of Stone. He had some thriller fights with Sugar Ray Leonard from the United States. So they're big fans of baseball as well as boxing. I got this particular jersey on the day I got lost in the Albrook Mall, which is a huge mall. But that's a story for another day. But like I said, I will end with this. I'm going to have a video that plays right after this, connected to this one, that shows my time back in 2012 during my Spanish immersion program. So you'll see some of the people that I talked about on this video. So enjoy. Again, like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thanks. Bye.